Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining in this video. So this video is about understanding how your marriage impacts the second house from your natal Venus. Okay. But then before we get into the meat of the topic, kindly subscribe to the channel, like the content if you find it useful, and please share it with your friends and family if you think they can benefit from this knowledge. Okay. So there is this Gemini technique, okay, that states that Venus is going to destroy the second house after your marriage. Okay, now don't go by the literal meaning of the word destroy. Okay, but what I have found out in my experience is that every time you get married, problems are going to come from the second house of your Venus. Okay, so and that problem can be anything. It could be from the living significations of that house, or as well as from the non-living significations of that house. Okay, but this technique is something that I have found to be working in most of the charts that I have seen, and the timing of this of this rule usually manifests within a couple of years of the marriage. Okay, so I'll speak in general about some of the problems that may come because of Venus's placement, and those problems, of course, are going to come if you get married. Okay, because Venus is the karaka for marriage, and the second house from Venus denotes, as I said, the problems which you are going to face after your marriage. Okay, say your Venus is located in the first house. In that case, you're going to face problems in your, in your extended family, in your saved wealth. Okay, maybe you're forced to spend a lot of money during your marriage, and then you get into debt. And I know a case. Just yesterday I did a consultation where a person was having Venus in the first house, and he got married and he got separated from his family because the family was against a marriage. Okay, say your Venus is in the second house, then you're going to get problems from your neighbors. You're going to get problems from short distance travel. Say you are taking a day's travel, and then all of a sudden your vehicle breaks down. Remember, Venus is the karak of our vehicles. All of a sudden you have an accident. You may face problems because of your communication, your way of interacting with people in your workplace or in your daily life. Okay, say then Venus is in your third house, then you are going to face problems. Your problems are going to come from the fourth house, right? So you may face problems related to your mother's health. You may face problems related to your relationship with your mother. You may face problems with your vehicles. You may face problems with the place that you are living in as a whole. Okay. Say Venus is in the fourth house. Remember, Venus gets Digbala in the fourth house, right? So in that case, you may face problems from your investments. You may face, problems. All of a sudden, you may find that your investments are not bringing you any returns, and all of a sudden, one of your investment has just disappeared in thin air. Okay, I have a friend who has this Venus in the fourth house, and he had invested a lot of money in stocks, and then all of a sudden he lost all his money in the stock market after he got married. Okay, so be very careful if you have Venus in the fourth house. Be very careful of when it comes to indulging in speculative activities. Okay, Venus in the fifth house, the problems are going to come from the sixth house. All of a sudden, you may find your stomach giving you problems. All of a sudden, you may find your enemies giving you problems. All of a sudden, you may find your servants giving you problems. Okay, all of a sudden, you may find your health going down. Remember, sixth house denotes your immunity as such, as a whole. Okay, if Venus is in the sixth house, then you are going to face problems from your spouse directly. This is a no-brainer because Venus is Maran Karan Sthan in the sixth house, and problems are going to come from your marriage. Okay, and if you're lucky enough, say you don't face problems from your spouse, then your problems are going to come from your partnerships. Your problems are going to come from any kind of partnership you're associated with your business partners, or if you're running a business, your business may run into problems as such. Okay, the problems may also come from from people who are not your family. Remember, the seventh house denotes others who are not you, others who are separate from you. So if you are in a society, say you are living in a society, the problems may come from the people in the society. They can bring you real trouble if you have Venus in the sixth house. Okay, if the Venus is in the seventh house, then problems are going to come from your spouse's family. Okay, problems are going to come from inheritance. You're supposed to inherit a lot of money, and all of a sudden, your father refuses to make you a part of his will. Okay, well, your father refuses to give you inheritance. Or say, you are supposed to invest something in your ancestral property. Remember, eighth house is also the house of ancestral property. And all of a sudden you will realize that your money has gotten stuck, and so on. Okay. If your Venus is in the eighth house, then problems are going to come from your father. Problems may come from from your superiors, from your boss. Problems may also come from from your higher ups. Okay, from your superiors. Problems may also come. You may all of a sudden you may find your luck going down. All of a sudden you may find yourself deviating from your dharma. Okay, so I know a person who was very who was a very religious person, who was a very spiritual person, and then once he got married, all of a sudden his spiritual routine went up in the air. Okay, it disappeared, and he could not find time for his practices. Okay, say your Venus is in the ninth house, then problems are going to come from your workplace. Okay, problems are going to come. You're going to face problems related to fame. Okay, you're going to face problems related to your reputation. All of a sudden, your reputation, you may find your reputation going down the drain due to some reason or the other. Okay, I know a person who was fired from his job right after his marriage because he had Venus in the ninth house, right? If your Venus is in the 10th house, then all of a sudden you may find yourself, high and dry when it comes to your network. Okay, all of a sudden you may find your friends have abandoned you. All of a sudden you may find that your gains have stopped. All of a sudden you may find that your desires are not getting fulfilled anymore. All of a sudden you may find that your network has stopped working for you. Okay, if your Venus is in the 11th house, then you may find yourself getting hospitalized, or you may find yourself having frequent visits to the hospital, if not for yourself, if for someone else. Okay, I've seen a person who had Venus in the 11th house, and that person got married, and then he started losing his mental balance, and somehow he had to make a lot of visits to the mental asylums to get cured, and that took almost 3 years. Okay, now the person is cured, but he faced that problem. Okay, now if your Venus is in the 12th house, then your problems are people are going to find problems with your personality. Okay, all of a sudden, your personality may start, you may start repelling people by your personality. Okay, the same friends who got attracted to you by your personality, or the same bunch of people who got attracted to you because of your personality, all of a sudden may start feeling repelled by it, right? And sometimes the problem may also come from your health. Okay, all of a sudden you might find yourself facing health issues. All of a sudden you might find yourself that you might find that your perceptions regarding things, regarding how things work, how the world works, everything has changed, and you're looking to get new perceptions regarding the people around you, regarding the world around you. Okay, so check this technique. Do let me know if it works for you. It has worked beautifully for me in all my consultations, but do let me know if it works for you in the comment section. Okay, as always, that's it from me in this video, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Namaste. Om Guruve Namaha.